My question is to the Prime Minister. Peter Splain, an elderly gentleman on a fixed income in my electorate of Herbert, has contacted me about the impact of the government's cost of living crisis. He told me that he's having to choose between cooking his dinner and turning on his air conditioning because of the spiralling power price increases. Can the Prime Minister inform Mr Splain when he'll receive the promised $275 cut to his power bill? Why is the Prime Minister so out of touch? And why do Australian families always pay more under Labor?
Call to the Prime Minister.
You voted to make it worse.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. I thank the member for Herbert for his question. I hope he informed his constituent that he voted against $1.5 billion of energy price relief. I hope he did that. I hope he also informed his constituent that when the Queensland government took regulatory action to put a cap on coal prices in order to take pressure off the system, he also was against that because he voted against cheaper gas prices here in Australia as well, with the cap on gas of $12 that we brought to this parliament, and that received support by the Liberal government in New South Wales, the Labor opposition in New South Wales, which is responsible, but also the Queensland government, and indeed received the unanimous support of every state and territory government around Australia, Labor and Coalition, because they all understood what the circumstances were that we were dealing with. Now, we will continue to take action to take pressure off the cost of living. That is why tomorrow will be, after tomorrow is 100 days till cheaper childcare comes in. January 1, cheaper medicines came in. Fee-free TAFE is in place already. Now, we know what those opposite would do if they had the chance, if they had to deal with issues, because we've seen what they've done before. The Leader of the Opposition's biggest idea was a tax on GP visits. A tax on GP visits, wanting to see the costs of visiting a GP rise by $7. But he didn't just do that. Not only did he not reduce the cost of prescriptions, his big idea was to raise the cost of prescriptions by $5.
Order.
No wonder he was seen as Australia's worst health minister.
Prime Minister will pause. Has the Prime Minister concluded his answer? Has the Prime Minister concluded his answer? The order. So do I. The Prime order on my right will cease interjecting immediately. I want to hear from the Manager of Opposition Business.
Well, it's a point of order on relevance. It was a very specific question about the member for Herbert's constituent. The Prime Minister is now meandering into matters of history. If he doesn't have an answer on the difficulties the member's constituent is facing, he should cease.
That's fine. Resume your seat. The question was started with the impacts of cost of living crisis and about choices, where to spend, and the constituents' bills. I'll give the call to the Prime Minister. Order! Order. Going to hear from the Prime Minister, and I'll make sure he is in order, and he has the call.
Thanks very much. And I am talking about the cost of living, because not only was the GP tax going to be imposed, there was a rise in the cost of prescriptions that was a part of the budget process as well. But there's another idea that's sort of been forgotten a little bit that he had as well. He had this: the government will remove the restrictions on state and territory governments that prevent hospital emergency departments charging a fee for presentation. Wow. That was this bloke's idea.
Order.
On cost of living. There's some people in this chamber mightn't remember that.
Order.
But I do.
Members on my left.
But I do, and that's exactly what he would do if ever he had the opportunity to have his hand on the budget again.